So, we're going to backtrack just a little bit here to the moment where Júlia stormed off after exiting the hospital, and Malcolm and Chip decided to hitch a ride on an ambulance to go towards danger. That leaves us with Tiago in front of the hospital that you're very well aware your mother is in, staring at the gigantic ziggurat that now dominates the skyline to an extent.
Yeah, actually, while I'm here, probably should pay a visit.
You can kind of turn back in and enter the building. It's much what you saw when you had first left. Doctors and nurses are running to and fro. You remember what was basically stated, that this is going to be essentially the triage frontline area. So it looks like most of the nurses and the like that are here are currently trying to prepare, as well as sending off anybody that can. Because they can't leave themselves completely short-staffed here, but they're trying to leave themselves as few people here as possible.
Just, yeah. In the confusion, I'll just make my way through, waiting to check in or anything.
Yeah, nobody's stopping you or anything. Most of the patients, from what you can tell, you kind of, as you're making your way through the floors, those patients that are well enough to have already left. Those that were in extreme condition, well, let's just say the level of care has diminished quite a bit. It almost seems like the older patients have almost been forgotten with the flood that is what you can assume the flood is going on right now. As you get to your mother's door, it stands somewhat ajar. Give me a composure check, actually, given everything that you've currently seen. I feel like composure check here is well within order. You take a breath and you kind of steel yourself for whatever you're going to see, because unfortunately, as stated, it looks like some patients have been abandoned to an extent. As you walk in, you can see that it looks like they have not removed the equipment. So your mother's still hooked up to all the various EKG machines, so on and so forth. Heart rate seems to be fine. She hasn't flatlined or anything like that, but she does appear to be asleep at this moment. As you as your eyes kind of go look through the room, also you would notice that her window does not have a view of the ziggurat, so probably she has no idea what's going on, even if she was awake at this moment.
I'm going to find anything I can write on, even if it's like that chart at the end of the bed. Like, flip it over and just write a note on the back. It says, "Sorry, I couldn't. Sorry, I couldn't see you. I didn't want to wake you. I've got a few things to take care of, but I'll see you again soon. I promise. Tiago." unfold it and leave it just at like the side of her bed, sort of in a pyramid, so she could see it when she wakes up.
As you get ready to leave the room, Ishmael kind of superimposes himself between you and the doorway and gives you a look of, are you sure you don't want to stay?
You know something I don't?
The safe-like head kind of turns opposite the window of her room, as if to gaze, if there was a window, gaze at the ziggurat. Whether or not he knows something that you don't, it's hard to say, or if he's just being pragmatic, so to speak.
All right. I'm trusting you here, and I will take a seat.
He kind of moves out of the doorway and, as uneerily as he can, but it's still kind of eerie seeing him take a seat to an extent, but it's more of a squat. But due to the gangly nature of his body, it's just somewhat unsettling. It's not too long. Roughly about 30 minutes, maybe an hour at the very most. When she wakes up. In this 30 minutes to an hour, I want to ask everybody, would anybody reach out to Tiago for any sort of updates or anything like that?
I think Malcolm would assume that he wanted to really check up and visit on his mom, especially the time delay. So I don't think Malcolm would contact him.
I can't text on a flip phone. One that's probably been shut off by now, it being a monthly prepaid.
I think Julia's too just busy being disappointed at everything that there's no all leads have led to nothing, and
Júlia continues to be Júlia.
look.
As she slowly wakes up, she kind of looks over at you, Tiago, and she goes, oh, Tiago, God, you're still alive.
Yeah, some last minute things came up. You remember my friend from America? Asked me to about some stuff that he's working on.
Oh. She pauses for a moment. I think he's the guy you came around with 3 months ago or so?
Yeah. Yeah, around that time. Sorry I didn't get to see you sooner. It's time ran away with me, you know.
No, I haven't seen a doctor in a while. She kind of tries to sit up a little bit, but it's...
Oh, no problem. I'll go ask. They're kind of busy right now. Something's going on. Just put my head out the door and see if anyone is around.
She is not on the first floor, so the amount of pretty much all doctors are on the ground level. So you hear obviously the scrambling of feet a couple of floors below, you can hear that the hospital still is inhabited, but outside of those vague sounds, this floor is almost completely deserted at this time.
I'll leave and go and keep going until I find somebody at least.
As you venture back through the hospital, you do take note of one thing. Not anything of the living nature, but there are a lot, and I mean a lot of ghosts here. More so than you would expect for a operating hospital. Which also continues to reaffirm the idea that some patients might be getting abandoned.
Try and put them to one side, and as soon as I see anyone, nurse, doctor, orderly, whatever.
You would come across, I believe, an orderly first. As soon as you hit that ground floor, obviously any nurse or doctor is just absolutely scrambling. And an orderly's probably going to be your best attempt to get somebody's attention, and that is the one that eventually stops and goes, how can I help you? And you can... There's a bit of rudeness to the way he's speaking, but you can kind of understand it's just one of those rudenesses because of the amount of business that he has to take care of.
Look, my mother's up on the first floor. No one's been to see her. She doesn't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Just,
Well,
I get you're not running anything. You don't know what's happening, but just a couple of answers. That's all I want. You know.
I mean,
Probably
quite
not.
frankly, it's probably better if she doesn't know what's going on. You know, all the devastation that's happened. Quite frankly,
Yeah.
probably for the best that she doesn't. What's her room number? I can maybe poke my head in, but like, he kind of makes a gesture at everything that's going on.
Look, if you can, like, just pretend like you're a doctor or something. Just like check some sheets and just smile and
Room
act
number.
like you're checking in.
Room
I'll give
number.
Give him the red number, yeah.
And he kind of go, what is she even in here for?
Don't know, it's been months of tests, of research. We don't know.
Kind of gives a really exasperated sigh and nods, and he sets down what appears to be towels of some sort on the essential a desk, and then follows you to the room. And on that note, we're gonna switch back over to Júlia. Now, Júlia, last time if I remember correctly, you were in the favelas. And you were being followed, were you not?
Yes, now.
You kind of froze up there for a second.
Sorry. Yes, and I was ignoring them.
Alright, give me a perception check.
Okay.
Do not get to apply your defense.
Damn, that's just kind of rude, ain't it?
Three successes. As you are making your way, and these, let's just call them what they are, thugs are yelling out behind you. You turn a corner really quickly to try and break line of sight, and right as you do, you get a couple of steps in and there's an alley, and then you just feel somebody grab your arm and pull you into the alleyway. Very quickly, there's a hand on your mouth, and you just hear a shh in your ear. Drifting
I know
Smith
what
is not pleased. Let's just put it like that.
No, I'm not either.
You feel them
gonna-
attempt to pull you further in, and outside of the shush, you now hear a voice speak. Be quiet. I'm gonna pull you behind the dumpster here, and they're gonna pass by.
I hate this. But, who,
Ranger danger.
who is this? Is this just a homeless fellow? Like does he look like a local, or is this like, like
he's
some
directly
CIA operative, or?
He's directly behind you, so it's a little hard to see. What you can see is what appears to be gelled up hair, or gelled out hair, let me phrase it like that, with what looked to be streaks of blonde going through it. And you notice, one big thing you do notice is the hand that has grabbed you and the hand that is over your mouth is very jittery. And we're not talking like the standard, like, this is a nerve-wracking situation, so my hand is shaking. This is almost full-on, like, this type of shaking.
Well, Júlia, will comply for the moment. However, if anything stupid happens, I have a very funny feeling that they're going to get a hammer to the back of the head, so we'll just roll with it.
This individual pulls you behind the dumpster, and it's at this point that he lets go and removes his hand from your mouth. And you as he kind of moves around so you can better see. He's somewhat peering out. He doesn't look homeless, but he definitely looks like he belongs in this location. Dirty. His hair is completely frizzed out, but it looks like that's more of a stylistic choice, and he has like blonde streaks going through his hair. And then after a few moments, he kind of turns back and he goes, "Okay, it looks like they've went past. Now," and then he starts rubbing at his nose a little bit. "What are you doing here? Like, this is not the time or the place to be in this section of town."
Well, yeah, I know that.
Okay,
Looking
so
for an individual, and grasping at straws.
well, here I am, trying to peddle wares, and I'm grasping at straws now, aren't I? He kind of puts a hand up. Neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. What should I call you?
Júlia, but unless you are a homeless man rambling about dragons, I don't think you're who I'm looking for. So I will probably be moving on. Unless, I pull out the crumpled paper. Do you recognize anything on this?
What is exactly on that? Oh, the symbols, right?
Yeah. Can you read high speech?
He looks at it for a second and he goes, I mean, I'm not quite that high, that I can read weird symbols like that, but no. Okay, so Júlia. Crazy people talking about dragons. Well, sometimes when people get on Rush, they talk about weird stuff, but I doubt that's what you're talking about now, is it? By the way, the name is Ben Hernandez.
Great. But no, I have it on good faith that whatever the individual I'm probably looking for is probably not rambling about hallucinations. And don't even start saying that I'm gonna sound crazy, because have you looked downtown?
Oh, no. Dude, and he pulls out a little vial of red powder and he goes, I sell drugs. I mean, like, nothing you say is probably going to sound as crazy as the last couple of days, nor what I've heard people say while they're on something. So he puts it back in his denim jacket, essentially.
I'm afraid, I don't know what I'm being pulled into an alley about, but the situation's controlled.
Okay, you don't know what you are getting pulled into an alley about. You are, at the very most, this is the best case scenario. You were going to get mugged and beaten. Worst case, left in a ditch without anything and everything.
I also have it on good faith that they probably would have been on the pavement, in the pavement.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I'm gonna glance over my shoulder at the Geist.
It's like, are you sure you're not hallucinating? You're looking at things that aren't there.
Unfortunately not. That'd be too easy.
Now, so you're looking for somebody a homeless person. Well, you're kind of in the right place. Unfortunately, a lot more people are going to be homeless very shortly. I have that on good authority, since you like to use that phrasing so much. However, somebody that's homeless and that talks about dragons while not high. He kind of stands up and looks around. He moves to the edge of the alley and, looks both ways. Kind of gives a nod as if to say, yeah, okay, they are really gone. He's like, I don't know. Like, do you even have a physical description of this person? I mean, that would be much, much easier.
I wish I did.
Well,
I don't have a physical description, do I?
Is that something? Let's see. Yeah, she gave physical descriptions of a few of them, but honestly, I don't know if she would have a description of this particular individual.
So no.
So
yeah, I've been chasing leads that go nowhere with very little information for the past couple months now.
You either need to learn how to get more information, or you're tracking the wrong things. Now, I'm gonna go off on a hunch that's this person's pretty important, right?
I can only hope.
Well, anybody of any import right now is, of course, near the ziggurat thingy, Merbauber pyramid. Because, I mean, I think about it from a logical perspective here. If you know anything about anything, you're going to be in one of two places. Right. You're not going to be anywhere near Rio. In that case, good luck. Like, any kind of shrugs, you got a whole world to search. That's not very helpful to you. That's giving you less information than anybody else has ever given you, and he kind of gives you a look like, am I right? So
you don't know if he's here. All right. Well,
No, I don't know if he's here, but like, there's only gonna be two options. If you're somebody of any sort of importance, you're either not here right now because all hell's breaking loose, or you're right where hell's breaking loose. I mean, my logic tracks, doesn't it? Or am I way too far gone? Have I been sampling my supply too much? And the look on his face is he's actually wanting you to confirm if he's way too high or not.
I thought you're not supposed to use your own material. Isn't that the saying? Anyways, that's not important. No, yeah, that's a fair point, but well, I have to exhaust the options everywhere. This was the last known location, so
Well, speaking of important people not being here anymore, I may not be that important, but I've got a rendezvous to get out of the cities and out of the countries, so I'm gonna be taking my show on the run. I'm cutting and running, if that's how you want to put it. I don't care about telling you because, well, you're not gonna tell my employer. You don't even know who my employer is, but I'm getting the hell out of Rio. I can tell you that much.
you're not self-employed. Is that not how it works in the? You know, I don't want to know. Now this is chasing at threads. There's nothing here. Shit. I see what you want me to do, so I will do it for you. All right. I will unsplit the party.
Hint, hint.
Gonna start making my way out of the alley. Just again, it appears to be just talking to myself, but now I'm just gonna talk to the Geist of just, all right, let's get out of here and go fix the problem at ground zero. Maybe our mystery individual will be there.
The Geist kind of responds with something to the effects of, yeah, and I'm sure it's gonna start raining purple flowers soon too.
Look, stranger things can happen, all right? I don't know what the metaphor is. But God, I probably do look like a drug addict.
And you begin to make your way out, not being accosted the entire way like you were before, at least. So some small wins here or there. As you make your way, we'll go back to Malcolm and Chip. So, last we left you, you were amidst a crowd of ghosts, acting like you're probably the hottest celebrity to ever grace the planet. And rubble and bodies. Well, mostly rubble as far as the eye could see, but you can assume there are probably bodies underneath this rubble somewhere.
Probably quite a few, yes.
I was wondering, could we petition the ghosts to help us find living people?
Give me a manipulation plus persuasion.
Could I help with that?
Please help.
Are you actually assisting? Or
Sure.
Are you gonna lead? Or are you gonna be the one
Well,
doing the majority of the
Let me
fun?
put it this way. if you have anything in these relevant skills, you're going to do better than me.
I have, yeah. So then you can assist.
I can roll my Hail Mary die.
There you go.
That's what you get. You get manipulation, and you don't get anything for persuasion.
And persuasion's at a -1, so
I'm assuming this falls under a chance die.
yes, sir.
All right. Hold on. Let me make sure. Yep, chance. This is so hard to do on one. Yeah, no.
All right, well.
I gave you the idea.
I gave you the idea. That's a good idea, Chip. Let's go with that. 2 successes.
Now, you're not gonna... The entire crowd of ghosts is not gonna help. But there are a couple of individual ghosts that kind of... They seem to have enough of a human-like intelligence that they understand that maybe their needs aren't nearly as pressing. And they're okay not being selfish.
Yeah.
However, there are still quite a few selfish dead here that ignore your pleas, but there are a few that begin to move through the rubble, and you can tell they are actively searching.
Yeah, so Malcolm, you work with them. I'll keep an eye out for trouble, I guess. I don't know, like, hey, move this rock. I can do that. Hey, help us carry someone. I can do that. But, Doc, I'm a level with you. I'm a little out of my element here otherwise.
All right, well, you'll be good for the heavy lifting then. I'll take you up on that, because when
That's all I got.
When we do find someone who's hopefully alive, it's very likely we're going to need to be moving a building off of them.
A very
All right, well, let's not go assuming things.
A very nondescript voice rings out. However, you both recognize this voice as this ephemeral entity walks towards you. A quick glance sees the mask at their waist. Well. I had hoped we wouldn't bump into each other so soon.
Is this the same one from that no eavesdropping city?
As far as you can tell, the nondescriptness, I was very true about that. It's very nondescript, this entity.
But the fact that he recognized us...
Yes, is what you have to go off of.
Yeah.
And I just let him go, well, I assume you're off duty then.
Getting ready to clock in. And he kind of makes a gesture. This is quite a kerfuffle that we have here.
Yep.
Yes, it is. I was actually glad you're here. I was hoping to use your services. He kind of grits his teeth as he says that.
A Sin-Eater? One of the bound wanting my assistance? And he kind of places his hand on his chest as if he's clutch my pearls, type motion.
Yes. There are a few things that you can do that are a bit more difficult for us. One of which is, he looks around, closing gates. But it's not these gates that I'm worried about. And he points at the ziggurat. The water that's still coming out of there makes me think there's probably a gate leading to the ocean of fragments in there. I want that closed.
Well, at least it's a common goal.
This Reaper kind of rubs his chin. You do also realize that a lot of this water was from inside of it as well, right? That's not going to stop the issue.
Been 2 days. I feel like the water should have run out by now. That's my thought process anyway.
Do you know how long that's been down there? I certainly don't.
A while.
It doesn't matter how long it's been there, it only fills up so much. Whether 100 years or 1,000 years, it's only so full.
And you see how massive it is? It's comparable to these modern skyscrapers.
My point stands. I don't think it would last 2 days. The water. How about this? How high up is the water pouring out?
How high? Rephrase
What's
that.
what's the top level that the water is coming out of the ziggurat?
As there's several different exit points that are essentially little waterfalls. It's not like gushing out.
My question stands. What's the highest one?
Probably not the very top, but certainly within the first 5 to 10 floors. I'll phrase it like that.
All right, well, it should be lower than what it's pouring out at that near top floor there, right?
He kind of shrugs. You're also asking me to step foot in the water.
And that's bad for you. Actually, that reminds me. Hold on. He rummages through his bag. He's going to pull out the vials of the water he took from the underworld.
Hey, can I borrow a few of those?
Well, first I wanted to see what they look like.
They look like the water that's pouring out, but there's still that uncopyrighted claim term for so black that it doesn't look real.
Okay. Oh, see. So that's interesting. This stuff's not leaking. So is it different?
He shrugs.
Look, we can talk. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna go to a stream and tentatively poke a finger in. Just a quick.
You're not submerging yourself in it, so
No.
nothing happens. It was like when you were standing in the ocean of fragments.
Okay. So similar rules apply, apparently.
The rule has somewhat always been being submerged. Obviously, looks at the crevices in the ground. When you're on a level surface,
Whatever's underneath is submerged. Yeah,
Yes.
I get your point there.
So if nothing else, he kind of looks over at your vial. You've submerged it in your vial. It's kind of the reverse effect.
It's a matter of perspective then.
Anyway, more to the point. If your Reapers can focus on closing portals, we can focus on whatever's out there eating the Reapers.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Less concerned about that and more getting these ghosts where they belong.
Look, and he goes, I don't mean any offense, but you guys think you're going to have enough Reapers to take care of all of this? I mean,
10 to 1.
And it's getting worse by the minute. Their 10's getting bigger, your 1's getting smaller.
Oh, see, here's... I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. Yes, we've always been fewer, but we are also immensely more powerful than any individual one of these. One of us could haul back 100 should we choose to at any given moment. In other words, this will be fixed once people stop dying.
And we were hoping to work together to get people to stop dying. That was kind of sort of the idea here.
Yes, these waters are not conducive to living.
nor are collapsed buildings, which is probably more of a threat here.
Everything around here is a threat. We're trying to deal with them one at a time.
And with that, he removes the mask from his waist, and he goes, "Well, I suppose I'll see you on the other side, shouldn't I?" And he raises the mask to his face, and his body shifts. No longer what you would classify as a human. It's hard to describe. Doesn't look like any creature you've ever seen. It's almost as if his shape is just something that of nightmares. As weird clawed appendages literally grab half the ghosts that you have around you. And then what appears to be like a scissor-like appendage snaps at the air between them. And you can almost see the threads of what tied these things to their anchor sever. And he begins to make his way back towards the ziggurat, where you assume he's heading towards a gate. The ghosts that are still around you have dispersed, except for the ones that are actively looking. It seems like they didn't even notice this little incident.
Okay. You had mentioned last time that there could possibly be some higher ranked, perhaps a Geist or two in the crowd?
There definitely could be Geists somewhere, but they also kind of left the area if that was the case, or were just scooped up.
Oh, okay. I thought they might have been with the crowd. I was going to tell them, hey, go find bodies.
Rose and Arwen are still here, though.
Well, they can't exactly go anywhere.
They are tied to you.
Yeah, them's be fighting words. I'm gonna be honest, there ain't a whole lot we can do about the Reapers right now. I mean, we're outgunned on a good day, and this ain't a good day, Chief.
No, there's not much we could do about them, especially if they're out in force, which they definitely will be with the amount of ghosts that are here. So, our options are limited. Save the living, save the dead.
A ghost shouts out, "I got one here!" And you see a ghost. Okay, I shouldn't say you see a ghost. You see an arm coming out of the rubble, kind of just...
Oh,
All right.
There's something comical about that. I'm sorry.
So there's
Alright,
one for
let's roll.
save the living. I'm gonna go help.
As stated, the arm's coming out of rubble, so I'm going to need strength plus stamina here.
I got it. Sure, not athletics, heavy lifting.
This is a lot, so I'm going with double attribute here. Because it's not only how heavy can you lift, it's also how long you can lift.
Oh, I know. I'm just doing the player thing.
I will roll. We'll both roll, I guess. Doing different things. Oh, look at that! I got an easy section.
Good grief, man.
Very quickly are able to maneuver through the rubble at a surprisingly fast pace, much faster than you expected. And the person you find is actually somebody you both recognize. It's a member of your crew.
Oh, Frank, how you doing?
You. They're bruised from head to toe. Their lips are just completely chapped. You can tell they probably haven't drank any water in a long while. Somewhat delirious look on their face as they kind of looking up at you, and they're like, "Please tell me you're not a hallucination, please."
No promises, but we can move you.
Let's get you up out of there first, then we can talk.
So I'm guessing you guys lift him. Is there a specific place you're moving him to, or just out of the hole, so to speak?
First out of the hole, and then probably... Did they drive off with the ambulance?
No, they didn't drive. Actually, no, the ambulance did drive off.
Yeah.
But
There's
no triage station here.
Right. Okay, well, we'll take him out to an open area, away from crumbling buildings and death water.
Yeah. Move them to safety, kind of get them all together so they can be hauled off. If only I had a truck.
Give him a quick look over with medicine.
Give me that roll.
While he's doing the medicine check, I look over while he's doing the check. Said, "Do you have any idea how many people I could transport in the back of a Conestoga?" I'm just saying. But good luck finding one in all this mess.
Sure, you could find, hotwire a car or something. I don't think anyone's gonna care.
Actually, no, I can't really hotwire a car. We're not known for doing things. Well, truckers aren't known for. I might not be a normal trucker, actually. Largely, not really.
You ever pop the clutch?
I've floated the clutch before, but that's only considered a standard moving violation. Don't tell the DOT.
As your brief triage inspection, at best, small fractures. Probably, though, we're looking at more true breakage, of at least maybe a couple of ribs, probably a punctured lung by the way he's breathing. Dehydration, most definitely. He's running a fever as well, so his body's probably fighting infection as well. He's if he gets to a hospital, he's probably gonna be fine. But left out here for any more significant amount of time, he will be dead.
Well, that's gonna be a no. You're not gonna die. Part of my crew. We're gonna get you to a hospital. We get you fixed up. Don't you worry, Frank.
There's others out here too.
How many and where?
I don't know. I don't know how many, but I mean, some of us lived in the city, obviously. Some of us lived in the same apartment building. Also, knowing as he kind of looks around, I would suspect we're out here in force as well. Given the situation, or nearest hospital we'll probably be at as well. Given the amount of ghosts trying to... And you can tell every sentence is progressively getting a little harder for him.
Just lay down, Chief. Lay down.
All right,
we
Chip,
got help coming.
I'm gonna need you to either find a car, find an ambulance, something.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna start looking for, I don't know, delivery truck, ice cream truck, food truck, anything with some space.
Anything that can actually run. So
yeah. So if I see a ghost truck, that's not gonna help.
Give me... I don't feel like this is perception. Give me
Desperation.
Wits plus survival.
Not the worst roll you could have thrown at me. Let's see. Oh, wow.
Nice. Not bad.
3 successes. Well, your mind immediately clicks. I'm not looking in the immediate devastation because anything in this area is just going to be totaled. However, something clicks in the back of your mind. That truck stop that Tiago took you to isn't too far away.
I'm bolting. So what I'm looking for is, a truck. You know, I'll take a dry goods if I have to. But what I'm specifically looking for is called a Conestoga, which let's not worry about that for now. Let's not get specific.
Is it a U-Haul?
No, so it's kind of like
we're
a
not
pop.
getting into the specifics. But we are gonna go back to Tiago.
You just shut that down.
Pooter, how dare you?
Eat.
That's not what you did there. The orderly has followed you up. He's kind of looked at the chart and pretty much gives her what every doctor has ever stated. We still don't know what's wrong. We're still looking at tests, but right now, given everything, her condition is still classified as stable. However, when he says that, he gives you a look. I'm gonna need wits plus empathy here, because he is trying to speak to you non-verbally.
Oh, well.
Willpower?
Yeah, I'm willpowering it, yeah.
One success. I mean, that's all you need.
Oh.
Heavy winking.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay.
His words are very combined with the look he gave you very clearly for right now. Look, it's definitely he's trying to convey you that there's no doctor in this building that's going to be willing to continue monitoring her with people in very real immediate danger. And with that being said, if even one small blip happens, it's going to go from everything's okay to flatline very quickly. Of course, he's not saying those words to you. He's just... That's the impression you get, that if something does happen, it's gonna go downhill very fast. And he kind of sets the chart back down and goes, "No, I do apologize. I do have to get back to the unfolding chaos, unfortunately. There's no other phrase to put it."
Appreciate your time.
And he gives you another very pointed look as he leaves, as in your next moves are going to be very important. And soon the receding steps of his feet no longer reach your ears.
So yeah, I just see it's not coming round because there's. Don't want to disturb you. Everything's okay.
I'm gonna roll. Do you want to try to hide anything here? Because I'm gonna roll wits plus empathy here.
I'm gonna do a manipulation subterfuge, which is not a good roll, but I only have one willpower left, so you can't use it.
Does his mother get advantage, or whatever the equivalent is?
His mom is Catherine, huh?
I'm just saying, good luck lying to your own mother. It don't work like
I
that.
win. Yes, it does.
You did.
I did.
Lied to your mama's face.
She kind of nods and goes, "Okay, that's good." She looks out her window. I really wonder what's going on. It must be on the other side of the hospital.
Yeah, there's something crazy going on. They got police and everything up there.
So what are you gonna do?
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, come on now. I'm sure there's something better for you to do than sit here with me. She kind of gives that wry smile.
Oh no, don't worry. The only thing, I might have to take a walk with someone later. Well, for now I can stay here.
You do hear a new set of footsteps. It sounds like multiple people. Though. Give me a perception.
What?
Probably 4 to 5 individuals. You can kind of hear them moving from door to door. There's a brief pause at each door. Or at least, you've been here enough, you know the distance between doors, and you can tell by their pace when they stop, they're probably at a door. It's a very methodical sound. And eventually, they become close enough that you know that they've stopped at your mom's room. And you hear somewhat of a surprised exclamation. Tiago, what are you doing here? As 4 to 5 individuals, you have passing recollections, especially since your dip. You feel like you should know these people, but names are not forthcoming.
I'm visiting my mother.
One looks over. How are you doing, miss? And they kind of look over. Shouldn't you be down with the others?
Let's talk out of the corner.
They kind of nod and they leave the room. Ishmael kind of gestures for you to go, as if to say, "I'll stay. I'll be in the room at the very least."
Without acknowledging his presence, I'll step out into the corridor, close the door behind me.
As stated, these individuals, you feel like you should know them, but no names, not even like one of those things you look like a Tim or anything like that.
So she could drop off at any point. I really don't want to miss that. I've made enough bad decisions for the majority of my life, and this is not going to be one of them.
And they kind of nod. Then we'll stick around too. Should that come to pass, we'll make sure that she makes it to the other side.
I want to be the one to take her across.
Of course, but these are ceremonies. They do require more than one individual. Well, of course you'll lead. We wouldn't even suggest anything other than.
If I go to the others, anything happens here, You don't let anyone else come into this room. You give whatever excuses you can come up with. You at least promise me that.
Of course. And, I mean, none of us are what you would classify as doctors, but we do have medical experience. We can...
Put a coat on, no one's gonna question you. Trust me. We used to steal stuff from pharmacies that way.
Yeah. We'll be able to hopefully manage the situation. They kind of look around. The world's never going to be the same again. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah, I get that feeling.
The rest of the crew is, ground zero, so to speak. They left us here because, obviously, we found out that this place was going to be the nearest hospital, essentially. So they're going to be dragging anybody who's not here first, and then sending them out. But the person talking to you kind of takes a deep breath and goes, "We don't expect many to actually make it out of here."
Yeah. I get that impression. What, I'll just send a note that I'll be going for a bit, but I'll be back later.
As stated, if there's any minor issues, we can probably take care of it.
What,
Minor medical
Right.
issues is what we mean.
from what I hear, any minor medical issues, it's enough. That's where it ends.
Well, hopefully we can make it to where that's not the case. But you need to get going.
Alright. So I'm just gonna go in, say my goodbyes for the time being, and what I really, really hope is the last time I'm gonna boost a car.
Give me that roll.
Larceny?
Larceny.
Dexterity, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Looking up towards that window, it's like the desperate times. Last time, I promise.
The car's engine rolls over, and within the next few minutes, you're off. Quite literally off the road in a lot of cases, since the road is buried underneath rubble as you get closer.
Okay, like an SUV that could like sort of
Yeah.
somewhat kind of like deal with it, yeah.
You have just finished listening to this week's episode of Geist the Sin-Eaters, 2nd edition, Marvelous City of the Dead, part of the Domain Gaming's Contagion Anthology, written and told by Wyverian. A special thanks to you, the listener. If you wish to continue supporting us, subscribe, like, and share. As always, comments are welcome. Until the next chapter, don't stop asking yourself, when change comes, and it will it be full of hope or tragedy?